What's up, guys? Tim the Clipper Guy here. Today, wanted to talk to you about cold weather grooming. I'm up here in Holly, Michigan, taking care of a client, and I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you. I don't get to do that often because I do live down in South Florida and just take care of those horses down there a lot of my time. So, wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you about that. First of all, I wanted to shout out to my Madison County, Georgia 4-H equestrian drill team. Thank you guys for sending me this hoodie, and I got your picture. You girls keep up the great work. And so yeah, it was perfect timing on getting this. Thought I'd represent y'all today, so keep it up. Anyway, want to talk about cold weather grooming and things you can do. It's a little easier than most people make it out to be, or it can be easier, depending on what you're doing. So things we're going to use for that, we're just going to use the rubber curry mitt, which is one of my favorite things. We have a hard brush and a soft brush, our hoof pick, and a mane comb. Also have two towels. One is damp and one is dry. And then I'm going to use one of my favorite products, the Shapley's Easy Out No Rinse shampoo. It's great for cold weather grooming. And so yeah, we'll work on a little bit of that and we'll take you through. I have Senna here today. This is a 8-year-old jumper. So we're gonna be talking about this cold weather grooming. So here we go. Well, Senna just came in from the field and has been sitting in a stall for a little bit. So the first thing I did when I brought him in, because it is snowy outside, is picked out his feet. Now he does have shoes, but he also has rim pads, and the rim pads help keep the snow from building up too much in the feet. But also, you're still going to get some buildup anyway because of the moisture impacting into and compacting into a small space. So the first thing you want to do when you bring them in is always pick their feet out. That's just a no-brainer. Whatever season it is, when you bring them in, you always want to check their feet no matter what. So we're going to go ahead and take off his blanket and see what we are going to deal with today. Awesome, so he is pretty clean, which is good. I know that some horses are not, but thankfully he had a blanket on. So what we're gonna do first is, I've already picked his feet in the stall. We'll go over that again, and I've already looked at his legs. You wanna always check their legs when they come in, make sure there's no swelling, make sure there's no cuts, and definitely make sure there's no lameness. Also, by picking the feet, you're checking to make sure all the shoes are on there. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the curry mitt, and we're just gonna go over all his whole body and start from there. I always like to start at their shoulder. Usually when you approach a horse and introduce yourself to a horse, this is the safest place to come. And according to Senna, it's a place that they're generally always gonna like being curried. Also, while I'm doing this, I'm checking for blanket rubs. He's got a really nice blanket on, and he's got pretty good skin, so far I don't see any. Awesome, he's already starting to shed out. So, with this curry mitt, I do go all over his body. You can do his face, and you can go below the knees and hocks. But what I recommend when you go below the knees and hocks with these is you just go straight down with the hair and don't press very hard. To get any of the loose junk off, to get any mud off, anything else off that you can get off the legs. Don't sit there and scrub on it. Just go down with the hair on it and don't press very hard. But I'll go ahead and do his face too, because I know he's gonna like that. So I'm gonna go around and go ahead and do the rest of his body and with the curry, and then we'll come back and start with the hard brush. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do the legs. Remember I was saying that you can do the legs with these curry mitts, but you just wanna go down with the hair. So I'm gonna show you how that goes. I'm just gonna start at the knee, and I'm not pressing very hard, but I'm just gonna go down with the hair and lift up, down with the hair, lift up, back down with the hair. All they have below their knees is tendon and ligament, bone, and skin. There's no muscle here, so you can, if you do this the wrong way and do it too hard, you can cause soft tissue damage. I'm gonna go on the back side of the pastern here, because that's where a lot of the buildup in the dirt can be. Also, before you do this, check with your hands to make sure that there's no rain rot or anything that you're gonna rip up with this. Because if the rain rot's not gonna come off, that's a different story. Awesome. Now that we've done currying and we've loosened everything up, we're gonna go ahead and use a hard brush. Now the hard brush you can use on the body. Again, if you're going, you can use it below the knees and hocks, but again, I recommend doing it lightly and with the hair only. Don't, rough it up. Just light strokes with the hair, and same on the face. I could almost count this one as a medium brush. It's a softer hard brush. There's only a few times I'll use a really, really hard brush, especially right before I'm clipping to get sand out or something. Even though they've had a bath, there's still sand in there. But for this purpose, I'm gonna use this hard brush over his whole body and still think about the tendons and soft tissue that is below the knees and hocks and on the face when using a hard brush. Now, I wanted to mention something that you may notice when I'm brushing. When I brush, I always have my other hand that isn't brushing on the horse. That's for safety, and so the horse knows where I am. Just because I'm brushing in one spot doesn't mean I'm standing in one spot. So if they were to come over on me real fast, I have a way to kind of push myself away or get the horse away. That constant pressure isn't always the best way to get the horse off you, but it will at least let you know when the horse is coming to you, where you can take a step back out of the way. Also, something you may have noticed, when I'm at the front of the horse, I'm right-handed, so I predominantly use my right hand. But when I'm on the front side of the horse, on his left side, I use my left hand, sometimes my right hand, but I'll use my left hand too. When I go to the back of the horse, on his left side, I'm going to use my right hand, or the hand that is closest to the back of the horse. And that's also for safety. You always want to try to stand as close to the shoulder as possible. Yes, can he still cow kick me, but I'm also standing further away from that hind end, because most of the time they're just going to kick back at you. I know him. I know he's not going to do it on purpose, but anything can happen at any time. I just wanted to throw that at you real quick. So next, after the hard brush, we're going to use the soft brush. Soft brushes to just help get the rest of that top dirt out off of the coat. Also, you can use it to use it as a finishing brush, which I think we'll probably use it again. I'll just do that just to show you real quick. So I'll go ahead and use the soft brush real quick. And this brush you can go ahead and use everywhere and not have to worry about the legs or the face. Okay, now we're gonna start getting into the towels, and we've got the majority of the dirt off. Now we wanna get some stains off, and just to get more dirt out. So I'm gonna take, like I said, I had 2 towels. So I'm gonna take the towel that I made half of it damp. This is the bottom half dry, the top half's damp. And I'm also gonna use my Shapley's Easy Out spray. And the part that is dry is what I'm gonna spray with, just so I know, where it is on the bottom half. So I'll use the Shapley sprayed side first, and then I'll use the damp next to lift the rest of it out. And don't be afraid to use more. I'm going to take the original damp side of the towel and just wipe it down to lift any remaining residue off. Now, like I said, it is a no rinse shampoo, but I still like to use the clean damp side after that, just to help get whatever remaining dirt is off. Especially if he's going to be ridden in the cold, the less dirt that they have under their saddle pad and under their girth and under any boots that they have on their leg, the less chance that you're going to have skin issues in the future, and the easier they are going to be to clean up when they're done being ridden. And I'm going to take that dry towel and I'm just going to run over, just because it's cold. Now the towel that I used that was wet was not too wet, and he's fairly dry. So I'm just going to take that dry towel, go over him one more time, and I'm going to take the soft brush and just lay all the hair back down. Towels are also good to make sure you get the gunk out of their eyes and their nose. And it's very helpful in keeping those clear for them. Now for the mane, generally if the horse is not showing, I'm not gonna do anything with the tail. I'm gonna go through it and just pick out the shavings or pick out any debris that they may have accumulated in the field. So that way the hair doesn't break. I'm also gonna keep my tail trimmed up. I'm not gonna let it drag the ground. I usually keep it to the back of the ergot on the back of their leg. That's the height I usually keep them at. Jumpers sometimes shorter, hunters sometimes longer, but if they're not going to be showing for maintenance and hair care, that's usually the length I like to keep it. So for his mane, we're just going to go through with a mane comb. It doesn't need to be pulled today. We'll do a mane pulling video later, but we'll just go through the mane and comb it out, and then he'll be good to go. Like I said, for the tail, we're not going to really do anything. I am going to go through and pick out the shavings, and any debris does have shavings in his tail, and just pick it out. A nice shampoo and condition on the bottom half of the tail on a day that's a little bit warmer would be good. Wash the tail with shampoo and conditioner and then towel dry it, just to keep the hair healthy. You can use silicone products, but use them sparingly, like once every couple of weeks, because the silicone will over time dry out the tail, and then it will just break, and then you won't have a tail. Or some products cause yellowing, especially if you have a white tail. Now Senna does have a white tail here on the bottom. It's a little muddy, but that's okay, because he's not doing anything right now. But it is strong, it is healthy, and now it's not full of any debris, because I just went through it with my fingers and pulled it all out. I didn't brush it. Don't always have to brush them. So for cold weather grooming, just go through and pick out the debris. Make sure you keep a nice strong tail. Now, a few other things you can do if you encounter any blanket rubs from blankets during the winter is you can use a silicone-based spray to spray around the collar of the blanket, and that will just help it slide around on the hair a little bit better and not rub. Also, make sure the blanket is fit properly on your horse. The other thing you can do is they have the shoulder slinkies that you can put under. It just covers up the shoulder right through here under the blanket, and that will definitely also help from getting rubs from the blanket. Another thing that I like for cold weather grooming is the Coat Defense powder. I would use it under the blanket and under wraps or boots before you go riding, because even though it's winter, they're going to sweat a little bit if you're going to work them, and that'll help prevent any buildup from becoming fungus. And even in the cold weather, you can still get fungus or you can still get skin issues. And also the Coat Defense will really help post grooming after you cool the horse down. You know, take your towel and just rub it dry and then brush them and put the cooler on until they cool off, and then brush them out again. They should be good to go and not have any issues. So yeah, that's it. If you guys have any other questions, or you guys even have some tips or tricks of your own, I'd love you to share them in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.